Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Thrive in 5 podcast. Over the last few episodes, we have been talking a little bit about that feeling of trying to hold it all together, but behind the scenes, health and fitness is like your dirty little secret, the thing that you can't quite get control of. We've talked a bit about the mental load you're carrying, the pressure to always perform, to always have it all together, to have everything nailed in your work life and your personal life, and how that pressure often spills over into trying to control your body, your routines and your habits, often with plans that demand more perfection, not less. And we've talked about how the fitness industry has set you up to fail by giving you systems that play on your perfectionism rather than supporting the life that you actually live. So if perfectionism, rigid plans, programs that are overly structured, if they're not the answer, what is? If trying harder hasn't worked, if being more disciplined hasn't worked, then how do you actually make real lasting progress? Because in most areas of our lives, we're told that if we work harder and if we have more discipline, we're going to see success. That's what I'm going to talk about today, because there is a better way, one that respects your reality, not the sort of fantasy version of your life. And it's the foundation of everything that we do inside the More to Life program. What actually works, especially for professional women, but I'd argue for everyone, but particularly professional women, isn't more control, it's flexibility within a framework. You still need structure, you still need direction. There is no sense when it comes to health and fitness or with anything in life at just sort of winging it, going through, waiting for stuff to have it happen, cruising through without any kind of plan or structure. That's never going to get you anywhere. But the plan and structure that you have has to be flexible enough to move with you, not break the moment life gets busy or unpredictable. I had the CEO for the bank that I used to work for. He went through some mental health struggles and ended up taking quite a lot of time away from work actually with mental health issues, which was a real groundbreaker in the industry when he did it back in 2014, maybe it would have been. And something that he used to say was, when you're going through something difficult, you have to be a palm tree, not an oak tree. You have to be flexible. You have to be able to bend in the wind. If there's a hurricane, palm trees bend and they can stay in place because they're designed to flex, but an oak tree is going to get blown over because whilst it might be sturdy, it's not flexible enough to deal with the storm that's approaching. That's how we have to be. We have to be able to be flexible. We have to have structures and plans in place that exist. We still want to have roots. We still want to have a nice strong trunk as a palm tree. We don't want to be some kind of crazy, this metaphor is getting away from me, but we don't want to be some like crazy climbing plant. We want to be structured and stable, but we need to be able to flex and move when life happens. And that's why inside the More to Life program, we call this the flexibility framework. It's how we support women to move away from the all or nothing mindset and start building real sustainable consistency. And it's built around 3 kind of core ideas. First of all, we always think about adjusting, not abandoning. Life is going to get busy. Plans are going to change. Nothing ever ends up how we think it will. Instead of starting over every time, we don't abandon and go back to square one. We just adjust. We just keep tweaking and adjusting, not abandoning. The next thing we always talk about is good enough is good enough. You don't need perfect days to make progress. You just need to stack the good enough days and trust they add up because you are what you do consistently. And finally, we want to fit the habits to the life you're living, not the life you wish you had. It's the reason why when you jump on board the More to Life program, the first thing we do is run an insight week. Rather than me asking you how your life looks and designing your program around that, I actually get a sense of how your life actually looks, because it is so easy when you're a perfectionist to look for the perfect version of things and to go in with the assumption that everything's going to look a certain way. Within the More to Life program, we actually work out how your life looks in reality and build your routines and habits around that, around your real energy, around your real schedule, your real priorities, so you can succeed without feeling like you're constantly failing. And more than that, more than just having Insight Week, the first phase of your program, the first month of the program, is just us getting those routines and habits in place and working out what we need to have in place for you to succeed. It's a bit of a reset. So we're not going in all or nothing. We're going in of let's experiment, let's see what works, let's try a few things, let's work out what the right thing looks like and go from there. Because when you do this, everything changes. You end up in a place where you're not throwing in the towel after a crazy week because you know exactly how to shift gears and still take care of yourself without feeling guilty about it. Instead of feeling like you've blown it because you've missed a few workouts, you know how to keep moving forward without needing to start from scratch. And instead of chasing another perfect routine, you build real lasting results off of the imperfect days stacked together because you finally have that system that bends when life does. That is what true consistency... That is what true consistency actually looks like. That is me not being a perfectionist and not re-recording that because I just messed up the word consistency. True consistency is not rigid, it's responsive, it bends, it flexes, and because of that, it lasts. And yes, that's going to help you lose weight. Yes, it's going to help you get fitter. But more importantly, it's going to free up energy for everything else you care about in your life. It means that you can actually enjoy the life you've worked so hard to build, not feel like you're fighting against that life. Inside the More to Life program, this flexibility framework is kind of at the core of everything we do, because you deserve better than a plan that only works when everything in your life is going to plan. And let's be honest, if we're real, when does that ever actually happen? When do you actually have the week you set out to have? You deserve a system that fits the life you're living right now, with the career, the social life, the family, the partner, the friends, the ups and downs, the house, all of that stuff. Not the life that you wish you had time for. If this is resonating with you, if you're tired of feeling like consistency is just out of reach, please just know this. It is not that you're not disciplined enough. It is not that you're broken. It is not that you're a failure. It's because you were never given the right structure in the first place. When you finally have a system that respects you, the way you live, and the future that you are building, everything gets so much easier. There is so much more to life than chasing perfection. Take it from someone who did it for far too long. It starts with giving yourself permission to do it differently. I hope you found this episode useful. Please join me tomorrow for the Q&A episode. And if you want to chat about anything I've spoken about, all the details to get in touch with me are in the episode description. I will catch you tomorrow.